Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Vobie, One-Eye Kenobi Showbie with me, Donald Fishface. No, it's not Donald Fishface, it is actually Richard Vobes here in the balding flesh that he is at ever one time you might see him. And it's the second, third, fourth, fifth, second. Choose a number, decide it what it is, divide it by three numbers, add 4, take away 3, minus 1, and plus 2, and you've got the 2nd of October, 2020. Although we all wish it was 2021, when the present situation is all over and done with. However, welcome to the show. Very nice of you to join me. This is the last Vobe show, ladies and gentlemen, of the week. And indeed next week. But the week after that, hopefully, unless I've not sunk a boat, we will be back. So in other words, in words of 5 syllables, in 8 days' time, 9 days' time, you will get the next vote. Something like that, isn't it? Saturday to Saturday, and then Sunday, and then Monday, you'll get the next Vobe show. So, yes, having a bit of a lie down on the deck, whilst the lovely Julia drives a boat up and down the Broads of Norfolk. The Thames. The Thames of Norfolk. No, not the Thames of Norfolk. The Broads of Oxford. The Oxford Dictionary of Broads. The Broad Dictionary of Oxfordshire. On the narrowest of canals of Wigglyshire. On the Father Oxford Thames Canal Shire. Anyway, we will be on a narrow boat. And we will be there with the lovely Julia and, of course, young Master Joseph, who will be following behind, paddling in a coracle, and me standing on the brow with a furrowed brow looking forward in case there are any icebergs. And doing that for a week in wonderful, luxurious rain, cloud and misery weather, which we've specially organised so that people don't get jealous or upset that the Vobes is taking some time off. Because after all, I know if I was saying, I'm going to the south of France, all for the special, going around with a camera and making it look like it's interesting, you'd all be very upset. Whereas if I go away on a miserable holiday, it's not a holiday, it's a working trip. Nobody said, can somebody not call it a holiday? It's not a holiday. It's a working trip. There should be hazard tape around it, because if you trip when you're on holiday, that's not so good, especially if you break your ankle and have to come back in a coffin. Anyway, talking of coffin, poor old Mr. Trump, he's having a bit of a coughing at the moment, a bit of COVID coughing. We do hope that he gets better. And whilst we're hoping that people are better, let's see who is out there. The better for the show that they're there, because they are, of course, the stars of the show, the people who actually watch. And we have Ernie Samat, who says, "Tallio, Richard, the fire is roaring away in the living room." I'm glad it's only in the living room. You can contain it there whilst you ring 999 and call the fire brigade. Fancy setting fire to the living room. Surely it should be in the grate, shouldn't it? Is that not where it should be? Sitting there in the grate under the chimney so that the fire doesn't catch the rest of the house? What are you doing, man? Have you no sense? You should have called me. I would have told you where to get an Essie and where not to get an Essie. After all, where I got my Essie in, what's it called? Heathfield. I would never go to that company again. I'm not going to mention them by name, a fire company in Heathfield. That if you took the name Fire and Heathfield and connected them in the correct way round, that might be the name of the company, but I am not going to tell you who it is, because they really did let me down. Anyway, never mind all that. Kerry Baldwin is there at the same time saying, "Evening, Richard, et al." It's nice to see you with your et al., which is good to see you. Ed Loud is Eve Goodnings. Eve Goodnings to you, Squire. Hope you are well and dandy and feeling randy. As long as Randy doesn't mind, it's all right. Otherwise, you'll be in the sin bin. And Andrew Murphy is here. Hello, Andrew Murphy. Lovely to see you. Ron Langley, John F., Glyn Horton, the lovely Judith. Hello to you, Judith, down there in Deal. Nigel Sadler. Hello, Vobenauts. He says, Ernie Samet, who I've already said. The lovely Julia is there. Why she's watching the show, she should be getting ready to put the anchor up, because we are off in the morning. Bright and early. I don't know what we're going from Brighton. We should go from where she lives in Lancing, but there you go. Elaine Whitelock, hello to you. Lovely to see you. Audrey Forbes, Hamilton. Feels wintry tonight. You're telling me it feels wintry. That's why I've got my wintry waistcoat on. And Nigel Sadler says, very smart, very smart. I thought, as it's the last show of the week, I better make an effort. Thought I'm making. And then I thought, no, sod it, I'll just wear what I normally wear. Days of Yours says words that is absolutely undistinguishable from Doug, Givernier, whatever. And at first I thought it said Guinevere. Do you remember that film, Guinevere? Oh, what a lovely film with the old... what was the mouth organ? Who was the star of... Kenneth Moore, wasn't it? Kenneth Moore in that lovely old... knackered old thing on the London to Brighton. What a lovely film that was. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're far too young. Clive Waterfall says, I'm sitting comfortably. Ah, bless you. Then listen with your mother. And Peter Lowry says, hello, everyone. It's nice to see you, Peter. Glad you're there. Jackie Traynor from up there in Shropshire, up near Ellesmere, which is very nice. Very different from Ellesmere Port, which is not such a nice place as far as I know. I've never actually been to Ellesmere Port. I think it's a mass conglomeration of a whole load of sort of spaghetti worms. But anyway, Andrew Norris, how are we all going to survive next week, he says. Well, we will be watching the Andrew Norris films, which have been absolutely fantastic on your screen on the Tube of Views. Very nice. So I recommend tuning into him. Glastonbury Gabriel, of course, he says apologies. He hasn't sent in a film tonight, but he has prepared a whole bunch of them. And actually, that's reminded me, I must talk to Billy about a gimbal, which I failed to do. But thank you, just by seeing your name. And I'm going to write it down on a piece of clobber pape. Nice piece of clobber pape here. What is it? A gimbal. Gimbal, Billy. If I do that, and if I put that down by the door when I get up to go out the door, I'll go, ow, Billy's a gimbal. And he won't be very happy. He's come back from the gym with all his muscles rippling and he'll punch me on the nose, and I don't like it. I really don't. Anyway, but thank you for reminding me. Days of Yore says, Broadsword calling Danny Boy. Broadsword calling Danny Boy. That's from a film. Was that what film was that? Was that the lowering of the eagle or something? The landing of the eagle has plonked itself on the ground. What? Broadsword from Danny Boy. Broadsword to Danny Boy. Yes, very good. I can't remember the name of the film, but I think it's something to do with the eagle one, isn't it? What else have we got there? There's a Veg Grower podcast live show on Facebook on Sunday. Oh, yes, just to remind everybody, if you get a little bit sad and you can't watch this Richard, there is the other Richard. the ever lovely, happy chappy Richard, who grows vegetables. If you've ever tried growing vegetables and you've failed, you want to talk to the Sugget monster, who will tell you exactly. And by the way, let me tell you, the Sugget Meister is going to be carting me up to north of Harrogate. It turns out it's far, far further north than Harrogate than I thought. It's near not Stockport. Where is it? Stockbridge? I don't know. It's miles away. So to collect a van, assuming that in the end that I like it, of course, but pretty much feel that I will, and parting with a whole load of money, which I'm not quite so sure about. And as we get closer to it, the twitches and the worry, because here's me busking on the internet. Some people call it rinsing, but I call it busking on the internet. And that's the money that I've got for this van. It's all I've got. It's all I've got. It'll be gone. But one needs to invest in the show and go exploring and go further afield. So I feel it's a good thing. Robert Kosa says, wild card Sugget. Oh, yes. Stephen Agger is there saying you're looking very dapper. We shall see a bit more of Stephen Agger in Hastings later on in the show. We will haste over there to have a look. Mark's beautiful landscapes. This is Mark Selwood down there. How's it hanging, Richard? Yes, it's all tucked away nicely in case, the rampant wild women of Wonga decide to grab hold of me and do Tarzan impressions, which we don't like. We really don't like that. Connor's Dark Corner says hello all, which is lovely. Sean's Allotment Garden. Oh, he's suddenly gone back from the Lifestyle channel into Sean's Allotment Garden. It's a different name every week. And he says, you need to turn your calendar over. Oh, yes, I do, probably. I do need to turn it over. We'll do that in a second. And Julia says, I've read that. Robert Croesus says, Broadsword and the Beast. I don't know that one. Glyn says, that great film, Genevieve, Kenneth Moore, and Kay Kendall playing the trumpet. I thought she played the strumpet, didn't she? Did she not play the... Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you did there. Very clever. Nigel Sadler says, take two. The month is October, so it should be Mr. Withercue. Let's find out if it is old Withercue. Hang on a moment. We will go up. Let's put on a little bit of Withercue music to take me up onto the calendar. Stop the music, please. Stop the music. Thank you very much. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I have sploshed my drink. I have sploshed my drink, which is no good because it makes the studio stink if you splosh your drink. Anyway, by the way, incidentally, as it were, I'm having a drink. Now, don't hasten back in absolute aghast. Ah! Don't do that because I happen to be drinking in this mug some black stuff. You can't really see it. Hang on a minute. Let's get into black stuff. There it is. Guess what it is. Guess what I'm drinking tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your guesses up on the screen. Lovely. But if anyone could tell me what it is, that would be lovely. Right. So, it is that time. There's still a lot of water and stuff on the desk here. One moment. Anyway, yes. What do we got there on the guesses? At home with Mindy. Hello, at home with Mindy. How are you at home with yourself? Oxocube. Very close. Very close. Oxocube. Dandelion and burdock, says Kerry. No, not dandelion. Black tea, says Ron. No, not black tea. No milk before you go away, says Josephine Suter. Bovril, which is even closer, says Days of Yore. Ernie Samet says, ooh, is it Bovril? Is it Earl Grey tea? Is it Bovril? Bovril seems to be very popular, but it's not actually Bovril, but that's even closer than oxtail. Can you guess what it is? Linda Kane says, probably because you forgot to buy the milk and you didn't want to start a new pint because you'll be going away. Very good, except I just got fed up with drinking tea and coffee, and I have got some milk which needs to be done. Black coffee, says Judith. Black coffee, says Julia. Julia, this is your probably most hated substance in the world, bar licorice. She will now know. Oxo, says Audrey. And at home with Mindy has got it. Yes, Marmite. I have got Judith has got it now. Marmite, yes, there we are. Gravy granules, thank you. No, not gravy granules, thank you. Nor lumps of turd that some dog has left absurdly on my garden this morning, thank you, or yesterday, whenever it was. Marmite, says Mark G. Marmite, definitely Marmite, says the lovely Julia. Yes, that's very true. Definitely Marmite. And it's delicious. Every now and again, I treat myself to a little Marmite. And do you know, you get a jar of Marmite, 3 heaped spoonfuls of that in the bath. Very nice. Every dog loves you. You're lying in bed with no clothes on, leave the window open, and you get a free lick from every dog in the country. They leap in, and you get an extra bath for free. It's marvellous. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why that came into my head, but it came into my head, it did. Vorbril. That would be good, wouldn't it? Yes, maybe we should manufacture our own drinks. Vorbril. So, it's time for the great dictionary replacement scheme with the calendar. So this happens to be September with the one and only gorgeous-looking Richard Vobes and some other bloke. And we are going to turn the page of history and reveal, ladies and gentlemen, Octobernauts. And here they are, the Octobernauts this evening is Monsieur English. It's Mr. with a Q. Yes, there he is, Mark with a Q with that bald bloke. So, how lovely is that? Isn't that marvellous? And copies of that photograph are not available from KTEL. So Linda Kane says, I always used to know if any of my female co-workers was pregnant because they always went off tea and coffee. Are you telling us something, Richard? Yes, this is why I'm wearing a loose covering here tonight, in case you see the bulge, because I feel that in 9 months' time, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Jr. will be upon us. Yes, he jolly well will. Stop it, get back in there. No, you're not coming out yet. Wait a minute. I'm afraid to say Eric Jr. is no more. Julia has got a green face on at the moment. Robert Croser says, as your accountant... Oh, yeah. I wish I had some money to account for. As your accountant, I advise you to pay half cash, half cheque, banker's draft, claim on the cheque, banker's... What do you mean? I'm going to put it all against taxes. The whole damn thing. I'm not going to claim on the back. The whole thing is an expense. I tell you. You know, when I do my accounts, it says at the top expenses, and I just think, well, everything's an expense. Look at it. How much is that? That's expensive. So I put that down. Everything I look at. I go past a shop and I see, I don't know, could be anything. A Rolls Royce, I think, blimey, how much? That's expensive. Oh, expenses? Yes, that's expensive. I write anything. It doesn't matter whether I bought it or not. I just write it down because it seems to me very expensive. If it's not free, it's expensive. Welsh wanderer Jason Patrick says, never tasted Marmite in a mug. Very easy. 1 teaspoon, not 3. That's for the bath. Put one of those in a mug and swivel it round. It's delish. Absolutely delish. Us. Very nice. And it does make a change. Every now and again, you do need a change from the standards, don't you? And as it happens at the moment, I don't have any other sort of teas. I've used up all my lovely Kent and Sussex tea from the Kent and Sussex Tea Company. By the way, Richard Smith, if you're watching, please send me some more. And or if anybody else wants to buy me some more. So run out of all of those things. And I thought, I just fancy something a bit different. Marmite seemed to hit the... it was the only thing on the shelf without sugar in. So that's okay. Don't you tell Nikki that. I won't tell Nikki. Mark's Beautiful Landscape says some things are better staying inside your head. I keep telling myself. Yes, I don't know what you mean by that, but anyway. Oxfo Cube. Pay in 28 days, says Sean's allotment channel by Sean James Cameron. There we go. Anyway, so we've got off to a flying start on the show tonight, have we not? I think we have. He says, looking around, cursing himself for not bringing anything more interesting into the studio. But I haven't. So how are you doing? Did you get struck by lightning and rain, thunder and hail and all those things? And those of you who happen to be watching the reading of the live readings we did of this rather thin pamphlet called A Sussex Peep Show, which there is now very little of it left, because when I read a book, I tend to read and swallow the page. I just eat the page at the same time. It makes it so much easier, and my book collection has reduced massively. But if you've watched that, then today's video was a little search around. Seems to have gone down quite well, I think, I hope. So I'll do more of that when I'm back from the narrowness of the boat, which will be fantastic. Now, we have 3 videos on tonight's show. You'll be very pleased and excited to know. Yes, one of those is A Moment of Murphy, which is good. We also have Stephen Agger in Hastings. But to kick us off with our little finish of the little theme that we've been running down there in South Wales, which has been very entertaining because we've seen ragged rocks and azure seas, and we've seen azure rocks and ragged seas, and we even saw a little bit of the two. But in tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, we find out what a wigwam is doing sheltering seaweed. Yes, it may not actually technically be a wigwam, but we see something along those lines. So let's go into our special and head off down to Pembrokeshire.
Well, Richard, I thought I'd show you and the fellow Vobesters a seaweed drying hut, typical of Pembrokeshire. It's not an original one, it's something that the local council have put up to show you this is what would have happened. So let's go and have a quick look. It's quite dark inside, so I'm not sure what we'll get, but it's basically a timber structure with a roof on to dry seaweed. Well, we're inside now, and you can see it's a very simple building. It's just roofing laths covered with thatch roof. It's just a mud floor, and I guess they would have just laid the seaweed out to dry. So look, it's the information panel. This hut was one of around 20 scattered over the headland at Freshwater West in early parts of the last century. The huts belonged to the women from the nearby village of Angle. They harvested seaweed and sent it to South Wales. It was made into lava bread. I've heard of that. The seaweed was spread on the sandy floor of the hut and left to dry for a week before being sent to Swansea for processing. Lava bread is still a delicacy in South Wales, where it is served with fried with boiled bacon. And there you can see, it's just a simple entrance. Plenty of space in the front to get the air through. And there we can see in silhouette, because the light's not very good. We're pointing to the sunshine, but you can see it's in the landscape in Freshwater West Beach. This is probably a better view. Again, I'm having to alter the contrast so you can see better. Right, quite an interesting little building. One of the highlights of this coastline. Anyway, I thought you'd enjoy that. Back to the studio.
Well, I didn't really enjoy that at all, actually. I'd like to complain. That hut, the number of things in that video come up which have disturbed me. Number one is the hut looks like they've got the wood from some local wood yard. You know, who's that bloody cowboy outfit that, not the one across the road from me, but the one it's got cowboys singing in the advert, what used to, about 10 years ago. Anyway, far too straight. The council, you can imagine the council going, oh yeah, we need to make this genuine seaside seaweed hut, and we in like Neolithic times or whatever time it was. Yeah, okay, we'll just nip down to the wood yard. Here, Ray, have you got any 6x4? Would you? It just looked too like somebody's garden shed. And you know, with the old, you can imagine them going in with the electric tools, going, yeah, just what it's got an angle up. Yeah, no worries, mate. It's just like a bloody 2 bits of lean-to, and it. There was no sense in that little wooden thing. You know, that it should have been all done by hand tools and wiggly wobbly. And I mean, I dare say the thatch was put on, but you never know. It's probably staple gunned on. There you go. All done in an afternoon by the council. Didn't have the air of authenticity to me, I'm afraid, Adrian. I mean, lovely filming and all your bit was fantastic. At first, when I saw it, I did think maybe you'd traded in your lovely camper van for a slightly more modern tent. But I realised that wasn't the case. The other thing which niggled me was, what was the point of putting the seaweed on the sandy floor? Surely they would get more seaweed in there, because once you've just laid it on the floor, there's all that space that's wasted. If they'd run some string across, you know, you've got this, but if they'd run several layers of it and hung it down like this, they'd probably get more seaweed dried in a hut like that. And also you wouldn't get all the sand all over it. It would have drip dried. The water would have dripped. So I think maybe they did do that, and these people just got it wrong. You can imagine the council worker thinking, well, how did they do it then? They got the seaweed dry, probably just laid it on the floor, didn't they? Yeah, that's what they did. Put a sun lamp in the top, probably there. And that's sad. But actually, if you put in a sun lamp there, you could have a lie down and get a bit of a suntan at the same time. How come you've come from Australia? No, it's not really Australia, mate. It's just a comedy thing that's gone slightly astray. Australia. Yeah, I see what you did there. Very good. Anyway, does anyone actually like lava bread? Now, I did get some bread and mix it up into a bit of a lava, but it wasn't very tasty when it's like that. Juicens. Yeah, they got the juicen lot. I bet they had the juicen lot there, didn't they? B&Q. There's another outfit in Sussex anyway that they have. I'm sure they've got a cowboyish name. It's two names, so-and-so and such. I can't remember. Good evening, everyone, says Darren Howell. Good evening to you, Darren. Very nice to see you. Andrew Roy says, you'd be surprised. In my village, people could cut timber and planks with real precision. Well, I would be surprised because it doesn't look authentic. Hombre base. I don't know what that is, hombre base. Never tasted lava bread. No, I actually haven't, because I thought, gosh, truth, mate. Lava bread, I thought that came out of a volcano. You've got the Aussies on the council. Yeah, they probably have down there in Pembrokeshire. Looks like a Saxon house, says a Saxon with S-A-K, Saxon. Monsieur le Saxon, he has a very nice house on the beach. It actually, when you think about it, it looks like they've just used the panels off a beach hut rather than... I'm sure they could cut straight, but, they only had scissors, didn't they, back in those days? Travis Perkins. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you, Judith. Yeah, Travis Perkins. We're all together better. as I seem to remember the advert from about 20 years ago. I know there's a lot of King's Cross and Olympic running bars make lava bread. It does sound minging, says Mark Donny McLeod. But anyway, thank you so much. I nearly said Glastonbury Gabriel, but it's not him at all, is it? Adrian, it was very, very kind of you to send that in. And we look forward to more of your investigations in your camper van. Yes. So do send them in. That's absolutely marvellous. Vidal Sassoon. Yes, he was very good with it. He was nifty with a pair of skizzers. He's responsible for my very erudite haircut, actually. Sean's allotment says those Australians get confused with South Wales and New South Wales. Badum-bum. Tish, yes. Did you do a badum-bum Tish? I did. Yeah, you should have used a U. What, a U? Yeah, a badum-bum Tish U. See? And then you could blow your nose. Mark Donny McLeod says, looks like the council left the door of the beach hut open. Well, it's very difficult to get one. You know, there they had the opening, and then you go down to the local reclaims place, reclamation. So, got a door. It's got to be about 9 inches wide by about 5 foot tall. Got any of them? Just a moment. Yeah, no, not round here. We got, hey, Brian, and we got a door. What do you say? 9 inches by 5 foot. 9 inches by. Brian, yeah. Can you come here, Brian? No. Oh, is Les there? Les. Yes. Les, you got a door, 9 inches wide. 9 inches, sorry, I was doing an impression of you. That's all right. Les, yeah. Is that how you sounded before? I don't know. Well, never mind. Come over here. Yes, all right. That's better. A door 9 inches wide by 5 foot tall. Have you got one? I don't think so, matey. I really don't think so. Oh. But I can make one. You can make one? Yes, I think I can make one. What makes you think you can make one? You can't make a cup of tea in a tea shop. No, I can't, because it's usually other people in the tea shop that make the tea. I'm usually just the person coming. Anyway, I think we'll stop that sketch there because the scriptwriter didn't turn up on that day. So unfortunately, dear gentle listener, viewer, person who happens to be out there in the black and white spangly dresses, we can't conceive a possibility that could end well, as indeed it didn't, as you noticed yourselves. Beautiful. I hope to have one day with a mark fringe. Yes. Oh, yes, a haircut with mine with a mark fringe, of course, absolutely. You'll never make a video because you're too busy getting it in the right order. What else? I prefer a drop scone. Yes, I've often had a drop scone, but, you know, you drop them, you take a step back, they're crushed into the tarmac, and it's not so nice. Andrew Graham. Hello, Andrew Graham. Very nice. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please. Oh, no, please. Oh, no. Titter me not my titties. No, Madam Matron. We've got some sensible words coming from Andrew Graham. Always have lava bread when I visit Cardiff. Of course. Not a bread at all, but a black gunge. Is it really? Black gunge. Not the strong taste you would expect, but great with bacon. What the hell is... I got to go and look this up now. Lava bread. Let's go and have a look at some lava bread. Do 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 do. Dee 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 Okay, we can stop that silly noise now. But we do have lava bread, ladies and gentlemen. Look, it's not even bread. It's not even bread. My goodness, let's have a look at this one. Delicious recipe, there it is. Let's view the image. Not very large, is it? It just looks like a goat has vomited on your toast. I'm not sure that I would want to eat that. Goat vomit. Here's a better picture. This just looks like the seaweed that we were looking at. Hang on, where can we view the image? That's even titchier. What is the matter with this bloody system? Hang on a minute. Let's get tools, size, large. Well, they weren't large. They were the same. Yeah, look at this one. View image. That's not large. That's not large. Bloody Google. Get your size of your pictures sorted out. It might be large there, but when you view the image, there we go. Oh, that looks like it's got bubles of the Black Plague all over it. What are those things in there? Is that oysters or something? It looks like the sort of human fetuses that have yet to be dissolved in acid. Anyway, whatever it is, I don't like the look of it. It's quite scary. I think we'll move on from there. If you want to give me a call, 07934746790 is the number to stop me from talking. And if you ring that number, you come through on the telephone here. Dial it very carefully because I don't want you to inadvertently dial a little old lady on the Isle of Skye. Because that number is very close to hers. It's very close to her heart. She's got it etched on a piece of wood that sits on her dresser. And every morning she gets up, she looks at that piece of wood and says, "Oh, the Vobe. How lucky I am to have escaped to the Isle of Skye where nobody will obviously possibly ring me." So Robert Croser says, wouldn't give it house room. No, I wouldn't give it house room either. How to make it, don't know. I think it's Barry Cryer's day off, says Mark's Beautiful Landscape. Probably. It looks like a bit like Barry Cryer strewed onto a piece of bread. Or is it toast? Seafood with it. Yeah, I did see some food, but I wasn't liking the look of it. It looks like something you wiped off your shoe. Yeah, absolutely. You remember in the old Georgian days they had boot scrapers. Well, apparently that is that what they scrape off your boot. They shove onto your plate, and that is lava bread. Looks like something you wiped off your shoe. You're quite right. Looks like cockles. Doesn't look like my cockles, I can tell you. I keep my cockles in a sack in a very safe place, thank you. Linda Kane says it isn't usually dried, shredded cabbage. By the way, loved the sausages. By the way, the sausages were great, thanks. I don't remember getting those. Can you send them on? Looks revolting, says Judith, and you're quite right, is revolting. Nigel Sandler says very scary. Ron Langley says no thanks. And Deborah Martin says disgusting. I have never seen such disgusting entertainment on the television for a long time, which is why I tune in to the Vobes. Very wise, Deborah Martin, very wise. Mark Donny McLeod says, I was right. It's minging. It bloody is minging. Do you know, good job the internet doesn't have whiffer vision. Because if it had whiffer vision, I would be getting a great snort of it now. Anyway, weird show tonight, says Graham Catt. You're telling me it's weird. Very, very weird. It's the weirdest show of the week. Friday is the Weird Week show. It's very weak on entertainment, weak on material, and weak on content. But it's got a very glamorous bloke in a Tasmanian devil tie. So we all watch for that reason alone. Laura Little says, evening, came on late. Oh dear, I'm sorry about that. Go home, sit in a very still place and wait a month. You'll be all right. Sean's allotment says, full of nutrient and minerals. Yes, I'm sure it's just scraped off near the council's tip where they do their road stuff. So it's probably got a bit of grit from the salt grit. That's full of minerals, isn't it? And some other gravel that they found. I wouldn't eat that if you paid me. Mark's Beautiful Landscape says, Nikki just asked me, all right, pumpkin, asked me why you're talking about your winky, Richard. Why am I talking about my winky? I don't believe I'm talking about my winky. If I was talking about, how does she know I've got an aeroplane? How does she know that I've got some storage space which I lock up in my aeroplane's wings? Because I use a special wing key to open that luggage space when I'm going flying. So she doesn't know about my secret aeroplane and those secret missions to the Outer Hebrides that I do, where I drop gin. Sorry, the teleprompter had stuck. You know, it was stuck. I dropped gin on the whiskey distillerators, yes, just to upset them, as indeed I did. 6 short of a ton, says Brainwatch Chris. Yes, probably. I don't know what you mean by that. Mark Donny McLeod says, my auntie used to work in the post office on Skye. Mrs. McLeod and she had very red hair and wire and snorted when she laughed. She's probably like the little lady I just described a few minutes ago. Bottom of the Budge's cage, says Robert Croser. It does look like the bottom of the Budge's cage. You want to see another quick look at it to make you heave? Why not? There it is. The bottom of the Budge's cage. The bottom. I think that was a song, wasn't it, by George Michael, if I remember rightly? The bottom of the Budge's cage. No, I don't think it was. I think as nobody's been brave enough to pick up the phone and call me again, I think we might ditch the phone altogether. We don't need those phone calls interrupting the flow of the show when there's no content whatsoever and we're just making it up as if we're sinking in a big barge pool of soup. Have no fear, says Mr. Vobes. I won't be here tomorrow. I shall be on the River Thames, rowing with the best of them. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, merrily. Oh dear, got caught in a lock. Oh dear, never mind. So, you recommend the sausages then, says Linda Kane to Ron Langley. SJC first, I reckon. SJC. What does that mean? Sean James Cameron, please call GG. I've got a fiver on it, says Norris. Oh, yes, here we go. We've got the certainly can do. Pork and herb. They're the other ones, says Linda Kane. Anyway, time, ladies and gentlemen, for a moment of Murphy.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another Moment of Murphy with me, Andrew Murphy. Today is Saturday the 26th of September 2020 and today's walk I'm going to go from Eastmeon in Hampshire along the South Downs Way up to Butser Hill. Let's go! everyone, I've now just come out of the field you've just seen previously. I've now got a full view of East Meon straight in front of me. I would just like to thank you for your company today, and until next time, bye for now.
How about that? There we are, the cheery Andrew, I nearly called him Andrew Norris then, Andy Murphy, the moment of Murphy there, which always makes us smile. Thank you so much, Andy, very, very kind. I must get up to East Meon and all round there. It looks delightful country, lots of downs and things to look at. And the horse there was delightful. I'm sure the lovely Julia can tell us what kind of horse it was. I know it was a horse with 4 legs and a long face. But other than that, I can tell you nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Tell you nothing, because it's a secret. Don't you know? Don't you know it's a secret? So there we go. Do send in your videos if you can. You've got a week of potential making video time now, because going to be away. There's no excuse. So yeah, do that. So the lovely Julia and I are going in a narrow boat up the Thames and then up the Oxford Canal. We will be doing reports, but there won't be any Vobes shows, I'm afraid. We may try and do a live on a phone, but I hate all that. I just hate doing live shows, really. I just hate that whole process of putting yourself on in front of people and getting them to watch you. I just think that's so egotistical, being it's just madness. Why would anybody ever do that? I really don't understand. I mean, I'm quite content to sit here in my own house, minding my own business, talking to myself like I do of an evening like tonight. And if people happen to peer in through the magic window, then so be it. Then, that's up to them. But to actually go out and hold a camera up and point it in me, what a load of nonsense that would be. Next, you'd be recording those and putting them on a channel and then trying to rinse some money out of people to see if they would pay you to make more of them. It would be ridiculous. And there's plenty of people out there already doing it. We don't need any more, especially not bald ones with glasses who've got very little to say for themselves and occasionally go off on a tangent about farming or things. Who knows? Anyway, so I would like you guys to make something for when I return. Now, you know what to do. You can use your phone if you've got one. If you haven't got a phone, use a rubber band. Everybody used to use rubber bands in the old days. I remember going to the town centre, and there in the bandstand were the rubbers doing their rubber banding. It was lovely. And if you haven't got a rubber band, then use something else a bit more technical. Hold your phone horizontal like this. Please don't do them that way, because that really just mucks up the system, really. Do it that way and talk to yourself. Send it in to the old Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi via WeTransfer, and all the information is in the description. Not very much information. You do have to decipher it, especially the email address, because it's in code, but you will get there in the end if you are a clever person and have got a bit of Sherlock Holmes-ness about you, which will be great. What else have we got in the comments there? Awesome video, Andrew. Yeah, very brilliant video. Thank you very much. Lovely. The Nikki Love has begun. Hello, my little globe artichoke. And now, ladies and gentlemen, ba-dum-bum-bum. Sometimes I just play that music just for the sake of me. Never mind you, the gentle listener. Hello. Oh, hang on. Can't hear you. Hello, lovely caller. Whoever. Well, I assume you may be lovely. You may be somebody telling me to get off the air. Hello, and welcome to the show.
Good evening, all.
Good gracious. Is that Glastonbury?
It is Glastonbury.
Worthing
At your
here.
service, sir.
Worthing here.
Worthing, hello, Worthing. I thought while you were rinsing people, I thought I might as well ring up and,
Rinse
kind
yourself.
of help you out a bit.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's very good. Yeah, because it's the end of the week. One's tired. Tired.
Well, the end of the week.
Yeah.
Well, it has done enough for the week, so one needs to relax.
I've been making some invisible puddings.
Have you?
Yeah, and I've got a great big bowl full of them here. Lovely
They look
invisible.
nice.
Oh, they're delicious. I can tell you the cherry ones, the translucent cherries are very nice.
I like the cherry one.
Yeah, the see-through rhubarb is not quite so good.
I went to the supermarket today, talking about Marmite.
Hang on. Where have you got? Hang on, just a second. What happened to you?
Well, I happened to notice on the shelf there,
Yes.
next to the Marmite in the yellow and black packaging,
Yes.
was Marmite in black and white packaging, and I thought, hello.
Hello.
I always buy special edition Marmites when they become available because I'm a bit of a Marmite head. I love it.
When you
Anyway.
say special editions, what do you? I mean, how does that work? What is a
Well,
special?
I bought one with gold flake in it once. Marmite with gold flake in it. It was quite impressive.
Wait,
You
hang
spread
on.
it on your tongue. Yeah.
Sorry, gold
Yeah.
flake. What metal?
Minute gold flake, yeah. It's like mixed in with it. I don't know if it was food colouring gold flake, but it was definitely gold flake. It was a special edition one. This one is Marmite yeast extract XO, extra old, brewed with a stronger flavour. So if you can imagine like mature cheddar and then extra mature cheddar, this is the extra mature version of Marmite, brewed 4 times longer apparently. Bloody nice, got a kick like a mule.
Yeah, is that penicillin that's in there with it? You know,
It
that
is.
sort
I
of
think that
fur
is.
that just grows over the top, the green stuff that you think, oh, that
That's
would
it.
make a nice wig.
Scrape it on your toast. Lovely.
Lovely. Extra
Yum, yum.
old.
Extra old. So look out. It was in Morrison, so they may have it in yours.
Oh, well, I will have to go and have a double check.
Yes, it's more expensive. It's £4 for a jar that would normally cost £2, but then they put the extra effort in, so I don't mind. You know what I mean?
No, wait a minute. They put no effort in, don't they? If they just leave it a little bit longer, it's like there's no extra effort at all on this. We just couldn't be asked to do anything with it for a couple of months.
They had to come up with the artwork for the packaging, and they've had to have somewhere to put it, haven't they? I suppose they can't just leave it out in the street because someone will come along and nick it. So they've had to warehouse it,
Right.
I guess.
I suppose so. Yeah, I hadn't.
Some effort's gone in.
I hadn't thought of it quite like that.
Well, I thought of it as I was thinking the price. Nah, I don't mind. But I always buy the special edition Marmites whenever they're there.
That's because you live on your own, don't you?
I'm a sad I'll get on my own, yeah. But
No,
I only bought me
I
a big
did-
jar on Christmas.
No, I didn't mean that you were a sad git on your. Can you hear me all right, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I've just.
I'm a sad git, I'm not dead.
Oh. Have you got your hearing aid on?
I'm 84 years old, you know.
Yes.
What is it? When you're a kid,
Yeah.
you tell everybody how old you are. I'm 5 3/4.
Mm.
And then you kind of get into when you get past your 20s, you don't want to tell people how old you are, especially women. And then when you get to this magic age, I don't know which when your knees start spreading apart and you need a walking stick.
Yes.
You tell everybody how old you are.
Absolutely. You're so, amazed, really, that you're still alive, I think is what it
Well,
is.
I guess
I'm
so,
87, dear.
Yes, I can't hear you quite well. I'm 87 years old, you know.
Oh, I bet I saw the war. Did
you?
Which one? The Boer War? Which one? Waterloo? I don't know which one you're talking about.
Napoleonic.
Yeah, exactly. The question I had a question about the artwork and stuff. But anyway, that's fascinating. I'm glad you told me about the Marmite and the first editions.
Yes, it's nice stuff. But I'm just going to have a little spoonful now, excuse me.
Oh, you got it there in front of you.
Nice. I'm cooking at the moment. I'm cooking my tea.
What are you cooking?
Just to prove I'm vegetarian, so I buy this stuff from the meat-free company. And It looks like mince, and it cooks like mince, so I'm just frying off the onions, and I fry off some mushrooms.
Is it
and
corn?
some peppers.
Is it corn?
No, it's not. I've gone off corn. Ate too much of it. It's the company's called the Meat Free Food Company.
Is it? What? Just tell me what corn is. Is it some artificial bit of polystyrene?
All I think is mushroom based. I believe. I couldn't tell you for exactly because I haven't got it in front of me.
But you do eat it.
Oh, I eat corn. Yeah, I have eaten corn.
You eat it, but you don't know what it is, and yet you won't eat meat.
Well, I did know what it was at one point because somebody told me, but I can't remember exactly. But it's basically, I think it's mushroom protein in that one.
Is it? It's not a processed thing, is it? Because it always looks like it's a processed rather than.
God, yeah. It's chopped out of a machine. It comes out in long bits, and they chop it up and decide what shape they're going to make.
Oh, it's obviously very good for you then.
But I'm looking forward to Asda because they're going to have non-food aisles. But what I can't understand is why is there so much bloody news? Asda are having a whole aisle dedicated to people who don't eat meat. Hooray! They're working out that there's a demographic out there who don't eat meat, and that's catering for them. But the way the news is going on, you think, oh, blimey, as we're reshaping shopping and the way we shop forever, blah, 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 blah.
Did you just say Asda's having a no food aisle?
A no meat aisle.
Oh, a no meat aisle. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there is no meat aisles. If you walk up the crisps aisle, there's no meat there.
There's no meat there. Well, this is true. This is true. Yes.
If you
This
go
is
in
true.
the vegetable aisle, there's no meat there. I don't understand what's so special. If you walk up the aisle where all the tills are, there's no meat there either. There's usually nobody sitting behind the tills.
Could be worse. It's not as bad as walking up the aisle where you come back married. That's a one-way trip, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that is a one-way trip. Although, there's usually a bloke with an oxyacetylene equipment who's going to charge you an arm and a leg called a lawyer.
Yes, he's the one.
He's the one. And often you get burnt. Well, no matter how careful he is with his oxyacetylene. Is it oxyacetylene? Is it oxy?
Oxyacetylene. It's an A in the acetylene.
Oxia. Oxia. Mike O protein, eggs and soya. Oh, soya's not very good, is it? Apparently that makes you soya is supposed to lower your testosterone levels and make you impotent.
Doesn't bother me. I'm single.
Yes, but if
Mind you, the cats look a lot more relaxed.
the cat, yes, I'm sure, yes, because you're not chasing around after it, I imagine.
Absolutely.
Connor's Dark Corner says, fallen for consumerism much. I'm not sure. Could you decipher that?
No.
No. If you eat gold, and after 8, you can mint your own coinage.
Yeah. Shit coins, it's great stuff.
And Nigel Sadler, who's tuned in and avidly listening to every word, says this is the Sad Old Gits channel. And of course, you have to...
Well, he's on here with us, isn't he?
Yeah,
So it must be.
that's exactly my point, really. Days of yore, you're not supposed to meet in the aisles these days. Oh, no, you've got to be at least 16 feet apart wearing oxyacetylene masks. That would protect you.
Yeah, that's another thing. Supermarkets.
Yeah.
Now, charity shops. Have you walked into a charity shop lately? I do, because that's my tailor's.
Yes, it is my tailor's, actually. The thing I'm wearing today, I got from a charity shop. As the shirt I'm wearing.
I see. My grounds for doing it, well, A, because I've never got that much money, and B, because I think it's better to recycle stuff and give it a second life rather than just bin it. So that's why I do it.
Yes, although unless it's bought from one of these companies that's made it in the Far East with nimble fingers and it's only around for about 6 months before it's fallen apart, it's probably best to bin it, because the poor sap who goes in the charity shop to buy it is spending £4 on a shirt and thinking...
It's going to fall apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there is that. But if you go into a charity shop, there's always now, since COVID and they've reopened, there's an old deer on the door. And it's always an old deer. It's very rarely a bloke. It's an old deer.
When you say deer, are you talking about the animal? Are you telling me that there's like a roe deer?
Female of the species that's grown old. An old deer. You know, your favourite granny type lady.
Yes, I was just trying to sort of make it so just getting you out of, offending people.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, don't worry about that. I do it all the time.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm not worried then. I'm not worried.
No. So anyway, you're walking in the door and there's this lovely old deer, and she will not let you in until
Lovely
you've
old
got a face
lady.
mask on.
Yes.
And you've also used their hand sanitizer.
Yes.
Now, you walk into a supermarket where there's food,
Yes.
and people are just wandering in. They've got no mask on. They don't wash their hands. They don't sanitize the baskets they're using. And you think, hang on, this is round the wrong way here. What they need to do is get rid of the security guard, because they're about as much use as a chocolate teapot, and put the old deer on the door. She wouldn't let anybody in without gloves and without a mask and washing their hands. Supermarkets would be a much better place.
Yeah, but...
Plus, they're always lovely when you walk in.
Very good points there, Glastonbury. But the flaw in the ointment is you're not getting, I don't know what it is, 1,000 people an hour in the door. You're probably only getting 15 people an hour into the charity shop.
Well, it doesn't really matter, because these old ladies, they could probably handle 2,000 people. They're just not letting anybody through that door.
There is a lovely... Where I live, and I'm pointing, it makes no sense whatsoever, but it's a force of habit. There's a lovely charity shop which is for scope. I don't know. I don't know. I assume it's for people who, like bird watching or something, or on a submarine and they have a that they can, afford to buy these scopes that they're saving up the money from. But whatever it is, they support the scopes. And maybe it's for spies or for hitmen. For snipers, they have scopes, don't they? Anyway, they save the money.
It used to be called the Spastic Society, but you can't call them that anymore.
No, because snipers who've got a bit of spastics are not very good at their job. Anyway,
no, they're not. They twitch too much.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, the point is that there's this charity shop for scope, and they don't have anybody on the door, and you go in. But the flaw there is that you can't try anything on.
Ah.
I went in there the other day and I bought some shirts and couldn't try them on. Wanted to try them on. Normally could try them on in the days before they'd taken the curtains down and said, well, you can go in that translucent screen and take all your clothes off and give us a good laugh. Or you can take it home and if it doesn't fit, we'll shut the door and pretend we're not here, put it in a bag and call it a donation. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Thank you.
No.
But that's how it works now. Because there's not enough of them manning the, there's not enough of them in the premises. They're all scared to come in case somebody walks in and goes, all right, this is a hold up. I've got COVID. I've come to collect some.
Maybe it's a West Country thing, but everyone I've been to around here, it's got the lady on the door. But they're quite ferocious. They kind of bar your entrance if you've done it. I mean, they feared nobody.
Yeah.
They're great.
I want to know how people's hands are getting on with all this antibacteria or whatever it is, the alcohol, and that can't be very good. I never do it. I never go in. I mean, I've washed my hands, but I don't use all these liquids all the time because I just feel like. I mean, I've seen people there who do that. They've got no lines on their hands. They've got no fingerprints. They wash their faces. They
Police can't catch you then.
Yeah, well,
perfect.
It's great for the safe crackers, finger lifters.
No dabs, geezer. No dabs.
Anyway,
well, I've been using it constantly. Yeah. My hands are like a baby's bum.
But that's what I mean.
They're small and they've got a big split in them.
Yeah, that's the trouble with them. They're no good. You haven't got a disposable thumb anymore.
No, I've got disposable nappies, but no disposable thumbs.
Exactly. Can't try it on in shops at the Mo, says Linda Kane. Nigel Sadler says half the charity shops in my Tam have closed permanently. What has been seen cannot be unseen, says Laura Noel C. I don't know what that means. Single, I never would have guessed, said Robert Croser. And don't eat clowns, they taste funny, says Days of Yore. Dark's Corner says, I don't much like vegan products. It's a bit morbid. Wouldn't let the cannibals buy food that looks and tastes like humans. Good point. And Michael White says, a bride walks up the aisle. Hello, I think this is a joke coming. A bride walks up the aisle of sands at the altar and the congregation sings a hymn. This all adds up to the bride's favourite saying, I'll alter him. Da-dum bush.
Yeah, I see what you did. That was a ba-boom ting, wasn't it?
That was a ba-dum tish. And I think I'll leave the corn on the shelves. Yes.
Yes.
Good idea. And the prices in the charity shops seem to have increased.
Oh, they've been doing that for ages. The trouble is charity shops now think they're high street chains. Well, they are.
Well, they are.
Gone are the days when there's a couple of old ladies sorting through stuff who didn't know the value of anything.
Well, yes.
Now you've got people in there and what they do is they use eBay. Oh, that's what they're going for on eBay. But what they do is they don't look at what they sold for. They don't look at competing listings. They just look at the inflated prices and they pick the biggest price on eBay that they could find and then charge that for it. Then wonder why it doesn't sell.
Yes. You sound bitter.
I am a little bit because charity shops, I had a girlfriend who worked in a charity shop. She managed one. And she didn't like that either because you can have something really expensive, like, it's got a label on it. So it's instead of just being a coat, it's a coat with a label. So instead of being £5, it's £40 because it's got a stupid bloody label on it. You can't even see when you're wearing it. But the
aren't
problem
they
with that is that it sits on the shelf.
But aren't they collecting the money for charity?
Well, this is it. So you would think they would turn the stuff over. Woolworths made their money by piling it high and selling it cheap. So what you do is you get it in there, people come in, they walk out, they've bought stuff, they've not just walked out and looked round. And you would think, dropping the prices, it made me laugh. my girlfriend at the time, she worked in Scope, funnily enough, and they have window maps. Compared office, send them down a window map, and that is how they have to lay out their window, by map. I mean, it's a charity shop, for crying out loud. You know, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But then, you know, they put our high streets up, them and coffee shops. That's what the high streets are turning into, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, they are. I've got a bloke waving at me saying, get him off. So I'm going to have to say goodbye.
I'll bugger off then.
Yeah.
I'm gone. Have a great time on the Oxford Canal.
Yeah,
it's one of the finest canals in the country.
Oh, it is. I dug it myself.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your call.
My pleasure. You have a great time, and I'll talk to you when you get back.
Yes, indeed. Take care. All the best.
Bye-bye, all.
Bye-bye. And on that note, bing, there it is. There's the note. Nigel Sadler says, bring back Woolworths. Bring it back. Are we ready for Woolworths? That's what I want to know. Are we ready for it? The pick and mix, the original pick and mix. Are we ready for that? They sell Primark clothes at higher prices than Primark. Well, ultimately you don't have to go in there. You don't have to buy anything. I mean, nobody actually says you have to go in there and buy the things. That's. I mean, I don't quite understand that. It is all second-hand stuff. You don't. If it's too priced, you don't buy it. And presumably, if nobody buys it, they will have to lower the price. I mean, it would be the market prices, wouldn't it? I've not seen that myself. I mean, I go in, I buy a couple of shirts. They're usually about £3.50, £4. That's it. I wouldn't spend much more on a second-hand shirt that somebody's probably died in and left the maggots all crawling around. I mean, they may have washed it a couple of times, but you get a bit of dead man's skin on there and it's a bit itchy at times. I think £3.50 is all right for that. I won't buy shoes. I don't buy second-hand shoes because somebody else has worn the shoes in a certain way, the way their feet slant off or the poke inwards a bit or their toes crawl up or they've got, a dodgy heel with verrucas in or something like that. So I don't buy shoes. I think that's silly. I don't buy trousers because usually the knees have gone or their bottoms have worn the seat of it into a baggy mode. So I don't like that. Shirts, I think, are all right. Jumpers generally are okay, unless they've been wearing them and washing them wrong. Ties, of course. What else can you buy from a second-hand shop? Other stuff, basically. A lot of vases, I notice. A lot of vases. I don't really have much call for vases, but they do sell them. If you need a vase, second-hand shop is the place, the charity shop. Vases. I think they sell big vases and small vases, if I'm absolutely brutally honest and not lying to you in any form, shape, vase shape. Some of them are glass vases and some of them are pottery, ceramic vases. The amount of different types of vases is staggering in the charity shops. Except, of course, when you want to buy a vase and then they don't have any. Because somebody's come in with that premonition that you were going to come in because you wanted a nice fluted vase for, say, Valentine's Day, and to put in a nice red rose that's obviously not real because it would be horrible to pick a real flower. So a nice fake one that's been sown out of grapeseed oil and squirted with some very high poisonous solution to give it the aroma of a rose, which is obviously a lot more sensible. And you want to bung it in one of these, very, very long fluted glasses like that, so that you can balance it on your chin as you go to your lover's abode, balancing it on your chin and serenade them with a French horn. I used to do that. That's how I've managed to pick up all the women that I used to pick up. Mainly because they would fall off the veranda and land at my feet. And I thought, I better put them back. So I would pick them up and take them to the nearest hospital. Anyway, somebody phone in, please, says Mike. Mike says Mark Donny McLeod. Egg cups is another thing. Plenty of egg cups that you get in the shops there. Plenty of egg cups. Switch back to the show. Press the button. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Agger has been out and about, and he has been to Hastings, and he advised me he's going to speak more slowly.
Hello, Richard and to you Vobes out there. It's Stephen Agger here, talking slowly. I'm in Hastings, doing a bit of sightseeing. Got the castle ahead of me there. Up here. Down towards the east. The town of Hastings. Lovely day today. Back in the studio.
And there we are. That's your look at Hastings. Very nice. Thank you so much, Stephen. Nice views up there. I must go to Hastings actually and do a video. It'd be interesting to have a look at the old. I wonder if they still got the fishermen's huts there on the seafront and the old lanes that used to go through. I have been to Hastings. I've just not been fairly recently because it's about 2 hours drive on a very tedious 285 or the 26. What is it? The 257, the 258? Is it? I can't remember. The 259, isn't it? On the coast road. Oh, it's such a tedious route to get into Hastings along the coast. Yeah, talking of vases, it is the vase show. Do you remember those days? You probably don't. Remember those days when you could buy all those heads and useless things, mugs mostly, but all sorts of useless things. You'd go and fill up with Shell petrol or Esso. Is Esso still going? And you'd fill up with that and you'd collect. You know, we've spoken about Green Shield stamps in the long distance past when we were but a wax cylinder playing the show. But yeah, you used to be able to collect these things and you'd go in and you'd collect all this sort of tat from, you know, that would be the main thing. If you collect 4 tokens, you could get a waxwork of Margaret Thatcher or something, a lifetime addition to Time magazine. The A259, oh yeah, thank you very much. I don't know where it is. Nice Hastings. Well done, Stephen. Anyway, listen, it's 9:10. I've got some packing to do. So this is the last show. I think we'll end it now. SO Blue, yes. Do you remember that? SO Blue and Pink Paraffin? They were the days. When I used to do the old fire eating, I used to use paraffin. Pink paraffin was better than blue paraffin, I have to say. Kerry Baldwin says, I've been reading about the American ground in Hastings recently. Very interesting. Declared independent in the C-19. The America ground in Hastings. I don't know what any of that means. That doesn't sound even possible. Toast rack. Yes, you could get toast racks. I remember those. Ramiboo says, sorry, I missed most of Wednesdays as I've been having to deal with my mum. I think that might be the answer there, Lisa. And then, because it sounds like nobody cares, nobody comes to look after you and support you. So I think, you know, a silent and then one of the spade in the garden jobs, and you'll probably be all right for about 10 years, in which case you could sort out some system to get over to Australia or somewhere. Talking of that, just briefly, it just reminded me that the government are now thinking of dealing with the immigrants, aren't they, and putting them in some of the old ferries that apparently are moored up somewhere. And I thought it's just like the old hulks that they used to have on the Thames hulks, where they used to put the prisoners and the homeless and various things. And I just thought, well, it sounds a sensible plan. History repeating itself. Under the patio. Yeah, there we go. That's always a good place. Rami Boo says, I was just about to... At that point, yeah, not at all surprised, really. From the emails that you've sent me, it sounds far worse than me dealing with my father. And I still haven't got rid of him. He's still on a shelf in my room. Admittedly, he looks like something that's come out of the Essie at the moment after a good night's flare-up. But I will have to do something with him because I'm sure he's cursed me and my sister. I'm sure he has cursed us in trying to sell the house because we still haven't sold it. Can you believe it? This story is getting boring and dull, but we still have not sold this sodding house that was supposed to be an inheritance that has just turned into a blooming thing round our neck to cause us worry. I mean, do you know, I've got older since we started to sell this. I've got older, severely aged, I have. Yes, Patty O'Dawes. That was a good album. I like Patty O'Dawes' greatest hits. Didn't she do one about Through the Glass Window? That was a good one. This Hulk is called Hogan, says Mark Donny McLeod. And Connor's Dark Corner says the stuff we flushed down the toilet would run the country better than the current people running it now. And do you know, apart from the Brexit thing, which does seem to be going in the direction that I'm hoping that it will continue to do, which is very good, but the other side of it, you're quite right, hopeless. Nigel Sadler says, at least the value of the house has been rapidly increasing, not if you saw the house slowly decreasing, as more and more bits of it tumble down and is gobbled up by brambles. I'd be lucky to sell it for threepence halfpenny. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to rest up my little laurels. It's lovely to have been here in front of you, gas bagging about nothing. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do give us a thumbs up if any of it made you smile at any point whatsoever, even if it was the comedy music and turning over the calendar. Thank you to Judith and Julia, who have been a stalwart of keeping you under control, because I know what a riotous mob that you are. Thank you to the Tasmanian Devil for wrapping himself around my throat, which has been rather nice, and to the red waistcoat that's come my way, to Adrian, to Stephen, and to Andy Murphy for the wonderful videos that you've sent in. Very much appreciate that, because without that I can't nip out and make a cup of tea. And of course we can't bring quality to the show unless you send in your videos. And to anybody, and to all of you watching, if you haven't watched, and those people who put comments or anything or snide remarks or whatever it is, thank you very much. I will dearly miss you while we're away, but luckily I won't be aiming, so it won't matter. But we will be back. Yes, we will be back. And we will try, the lovely Julia and I and little Joseph will try to put out a video every day of some description, but it may only be like a 1 or 2 minute thing from the phone, because I'm not going to spend the whole evenings editing like I did before. I'm actually going to spend more of the time bailing out the water as we sink on the River Thames. So thank you so much for watching. I hope it all goes well where you are. Look after yourselves. Keep cool. Don't forget me. That would be nice. And if you've enjoyed any of the show, then do nudge a mate and tell them to turn the television off, get rid of their TV licence and watch this nonsense instead. It can't be any worse than what's on the phone, on the dog and yeah, it can be a lot worse, I guess. Anyway, until then, take care, look after yourselves. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, sorry, I deliberately just sat still just for the fun of it. I will go.